Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. How y'all doing on this lovely Wednesday? Well, it's crazy. It's either morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. If you're out on the West Coast or Mountain Time, it's still the morning, and everyone else, we are looking at the afternoon. Yeah, this is going to be fun, guys. I'm going to do a live review of Nosferatu. This is essentially, you guys had reached a super chat goal late last week, I believe it was, for me to do a review of this, or maybe it was just earlier this week. I don't know. It's all foggy to me. So what I'm going to do, similar to what I did with my Terrifier 3 live review, I'm just going to jump right into the review. I'm going to take care of all of that before jumping in and saying what's up to everybody hanging out in the chat. I love you guys. I see the chat popping off. But for the folks that are maybe new to the channel or are just coming here for the review, I want to be able to have that be as succinct as possible. So I'll get through my review, hopefully about 10 minutes or so, and then I'll jump into the chat, say what's up to everybody, and hang out with you guys. I do want to let you know there is a poll in the chat. If you want to give your thoughts on Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, you can let me know there in the chat. And then I also started a goal for doing a live review of that Wolfman movie that's coming out here. I believe it's January 17th is when that movie's released. So guys, if you want to keep on seeing me do these live reviews, because I'm really not much of a review channel, but if you want to see more of reviews like this, then go ahead and let's hit that goal, and that'll let me know that you guys are interested in that. And if not, then no big deal. I don't even know how interested I am in a Wolfman movie. So let me know if you want to hear me talk about that. I'll let you decide. So yeah, let me just jump on over to our sweet little banners here. You know, I do want to let you guys know we did just relaunch the merch shop over on Spring. If you can use the code EARLYBIRD, all one word, all caps, for a 10% discount at checkout. We have some new designs, you know, a whole bunch of fun stuff over there. And of course, you can hit me up with a direct message. Links are in the description below for everything, for the shop, for my socials, all that stuff. If there's something that you want to see on the shop, something you're interested in purchasing, and you're just not seeing there, please feel free to hit me up. My door is always open. I try to stay as communicative as I can with all of you guys. So yeah. All right. So my overall thoughts on Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I was a little pensive going into this one. I really loved The Witch. I very much enjoyed The Lighthouse. It is a, you know, kind of a mindfuck of a movie. Who knows how often I'll go back to that. I could see myself going back to The Witch a lot because I really, really enjoyed it. And, you know, I watch it with the subtitles on. I watched The Lighthouse with subtitles on too, just so I didn't miss anything. And yeah, you know, both great movies. I love Robert Eggers' creativity. I love his, you know, respect and attention to detail when it comes to like the dialogue and the script and everything. And of course, the filmmaking, the visual aspects of the filmmaking are very beautiful as well. And I just didn't know, with Nosferatu being a you know, a movie that's been remade before, and essentially everyone knows it's Dracula. It's just the, you know, the ripoff, the public domain ripoff of Dracula. So it's a story that we've seen quite a bit here. Now, I just didn't know if that was something I was going to be into, and I did something I shouldn't have done. I watched other people review the movie, and sometimes that can kind of sway you each way or either way. So I thought to myself, man, I hope I enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe this will be a movie that I walk away like thinking is terrible. But I thought it was actually a really good time in the theater. Now, it certainly has its issues. People are calling it a masterpiece. I think it's kind of far away from being a masterpiece. Again, it's the third time that this movie has been made in just over 100 years. He would have had to do something wildly different for me to think it was an absolute masterpiece. I don't know for me if it ever would have reached that level, but the movie looks gorgeous. I love it's like a 1.66 to 1 ratio. So it's not quite like full widescreen. I think widescreen is like 1.7. So I was thinking to myself, is this 4:3? Is this like a television? Because I saw the black bars on the side of the theater screen, but it's not quite. So it's 1.66. So it has an interesting kind of, you know, aspect ratio that helps the film stand out. A lot of the movie does look black and white because of the lighting and because of the color palette. And then there are scenes that are like black and orange. So it kind of goes from like this cool blue, grayish look to this like warmer kind of orange look. I'll get more into that as we dive more into the atmosphere and everything. But yeah, overall thoughts, I enjoyed this one more than I thought I would. Not a masterpiece for me, certainly not boring, and well worth a watch for sure. In my theater, I was thinking, is it well worth a theater watch? Man, there were just some people munching on popcorn and like whispering to each other, and there were only like 10 of us in the theater, and I was like, I can't believe that even though there's 10 people in this theater, these people are driving me nuts. So if you can handle a theatrical experience with people that may not take film or watching a film as seriously as you take it, then absolutely go see it in the theater. You know, if you just want to be able to watch it in the comfort of your home, it's 2 hours and 12 minutes. If you want to be able to get up and use the bathroom and pause the movie and not have to worry about anyone, you know, impeding on your experience, then I would say wait for home. But absolutely a film that all film fans and all horror fans should give at least a watch here. Now, setup and story, everyone knows the setup and story, right? There's a young woman who's been having these dreams of this creature for her whole life. You know, she's just been recently married. Her husband gets charged with, you know, going off into the wilderness, the Carpathian Mountains in Transylvania to, you know, get a deed signed for a home in Germany. And he's doing it so he can get a job, a well-paying job, so he can take care of his lovely young wife and their future family. Little does he know that he's being put out there on a lark by somebody who wants to basically throw him to the proverbial wolves. And Count Orlok, who he's going out to visit, has full intentions of going back to Germany and essentially stealing his wife, or, you know, making his wife his own. And so it's all about how that all goes down and how the, you know, the quote unquote good guys want to deal with the vampire threat. Now, the characters and performances, there were some surprises here for me. Just need a sip of water. And you guys have heard me, if you've been hanging out on the channel, you've heard me say some very not glowing things about Aaron Taylor Johnson. I liked him in Kick-Ass. I thought he was fun in that one. I really didn't like his Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I just really didn't like that movie. So I don't know if it's really so much his performance. I didn't really have an issue with his accent. I really didn't like the way that the character was portrayed in Age of Ultron. It just wasn't, it wasn't fun. It was just, the script was terrible to that movie. I really don't like that movie. And then what was the other thing that Godzilla. He was in Godzilla, and he just made me really, really wish that Bryan Cranston lived longer in that movie, because I thought he was really uninteresting. Same thing with Elizabeth Olsen. I thought both of them were very uninteresting in Age of Ultron and in Godzilla. And so I didn't have very, you know, I was like, oh, this guy's going to like distract the hell out of me. Yet another actor that people just think is good because he's physically attractive. But holy shit, you guys, Aaron Taylor Johnson, for me, put in the best performance in this movie. The best performance, easily. I would say, maybe, you know, Willem Dafoe's probably the next closest for me as far as performances go. But Aaron Taylor Johnson blew my friggin' mind in this one. So I'm the jerk. I stand corrected, you know, but if you guys know me, you also know I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, or, you know, afraid to tell you exactly how I feel. And moving forward, when he's cast in a movie, I'm going to give it a good solid chance, because I thought his accent here was really good and his cadence was amazing. I think that's something that's really interesting about this movie that I noticed, is the way that the script was written. And I don't know if the actors were directed to use a certain kind of cadence. It sort of had not necessarily an iambic pentameter that they used a lot in like Shakespeare and everything, but there is some sort of rhythm and cadence to a lot of the dialogue delivery here. Not every single person, but I would say more often than not, 85 to 90% of the time, there is kind of a sing-songy, well, maybe not sing-songy, but some sort of rhythm and some sort of like beat to the cadence of the dialogue delivery. And I thought that was really interesting. It was something that stood out to me as a huge positive here, something I didn't expect to see, and something that I really enjoyed. Nicholas Hoult was great. Lily Rose Depp had her moments. I don't think it's her fault, but I do think a lot of the convulsing and seizing and all that kind of stuff, to me, it just came off as silly. Again, I don't think that's her fault. I think any actress would have struggled with that because it just came off as a bit too much for me, something that really didn't work for me. Ralph Ineson, who played Dr. Wilhelm Sievers, he was in The Witch as well. He was amazing. His voice is absolutely incredible. Loved his performance. Simon McBurney, who plays Knock, who is basically the Renfield of the piece. I thought he was really good. The whole time I'm like, oh, he's like, is that Richard Dreyfuss? I mean, I knew it wasn't, but he just has like a Dreyfuss kind of look. Really enjoyed him. So those are the standout performances for me. Skarsgård as Orlok, not the biggest fan. Really not, you guys. I thought the voice was really good. I'm not really sure about the look. I thought the look was fine. It's nothing that like blew my mind. The whole mustache thing. I know that's a big controversy. I think he would have been scarier without, but I think that in the original Bram Stoker novel, Dracula does have a mustache. But again, this is not technically Dracula. So to use that as sort of a counterpoint when people are like, well, it's more like the book. And it's like, what book? Because this is supposedly its own thing. That's how they got past the rights, from the Stoker estate way back in 1922 when they made the original. So, the voice was okay, but the death rattle breathing all the time really did wear on me right away. It had this whole like Darth Vader as he's about to die in Return of the Jedi kind of sound. And in that movie, they use it for the tiniest little bit of time. And in this movie, it's like between every few words, he's doing this kind of thing. And it's just sort of like, okay, I get it, but isn't this guy supposed to really be like immortal? Isn't, I get that they're trying to portray a vampire that he has deterioration to his body and everything. And he does look somewhat frail, but also at the same time, he's very, very strong. They think there's a plague going on in their little town in Germany, and seemingly it would just be that Orlok is going around killing like, a dozen or so people every single night, or maybe even more. So that whole like trying to play the frail side while he's also literally an immortal undead beast, I thought there was something there that didn't really jive for me. I think Skarsgård is a great performer. Maybe he was told to really sell up that breathing and everything. For me, it was a bit too much. Now, mood and atmosphere and direction, I kind of already touched on that in my overall thoughts. I got a little too excited there. The mood and atmosphere is really, really good here. I think that's something that Eggers is always going to deliver, and the direction is beautiful. It is, maybe a little too slow, very, very deliberate. I do like deliberate use of the camera and all that, but I think that this movie, at 2 hours and 12 minutes, it could have come in at maybe like an hour 55. It could have moved a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker, and touching back on the story a little bit. I think there are a lot of scenes that are sort of like, didn't I just see this scene 10 minutes ago? Just with like two other people talking about the same thing. So I felt like they sort of doubled up on some of the narrative. And I think that if you don't double up on the narrative, you can cut the runtime down. You can make it a bit more succinct. And I think that also lends to the mood and atmosphere of the movie because it lets you immerse yourself in the visuals and in the feel. So mood and atmosphere, with Robert Eggers, you're always going to get a great mood and atmosphere. The costume design was beautiful. The set design and production design were absolutely gorgeous. You really feel like you're in that time. And yeah, they sucked me right in with that. They just could have been a little bit quicker and a little bit more succinct with how they told the story. Now, music and sound design, I don't really recall very much music here. So I guess that's not very good. The score didn't stand out to me. I'm not saying that it was bad or anything, but it's nothing. I'm not as I'm thinking about the movie or been ruminating on it since watching it yesterday, late afternoon, I can't think of a piece of music that really stands out to me. Sound design is great. I sort of expect that in every major motion picture now. If you don't have good sound design, then I think that's an epic fail. Other than the weird breathing from Orlok, but that's an actor decision or a director's decision. But I felt like the sound design was really great. They do have a few kind of jump scary moments, but I felt like they were very earned, and I sort of felt them coming. So it didn't seem cheap to me. And anytime you get like one of those jump scares, there's a nice little bit of sound design as well. The clip clop of the horses, the growling of the wolves, like all that kind of stuff. Really dug it. There's a scene where Nicholas Holt's character, I believe his name is Thomas, stays with a band of gypsies before getting to Orlok's castle. And as he rolls up on their little village, they're playing music and everything. And it really looked like it was a live performance. I always look out for the strumming and everything. And the strumming was like dead on with the performance. So I really appreciated that aspect of it as well. Now, the visual effects and the kills, they were great. I thought the look of Orlok was really good. There's sort of like, everyone thinks there's a plague going on in the German town. So people have like sores. I don't know if that really is the plague or if it's just that the town's overrun with rats and people are being bitten, or if they were just bitten by Orlok and not fully drained. They don't really like let you know if it really is the plague or if it's just Orlok going around killing people. I just assumed it was the vampire going around killing a bunch of people. And the visual effects, they don't really go too overboard or anything. There are a couple spots where the Renfield character is mutilating animals. He bites a dude's neck, and you get a little bit of a splash with the gore. I thought very tasteful on the gore side. And there's a couple times in the movie where you get like a full like kind of money shot of Nosferatu, and I thought the creature design looked really, really cool. Like it did look something, it looked like an illustration out of an old-timey book. It did have this like otherworldly kind of creepy vibe to it. So I think the visual effects and the kills were great. I don't know how much of the rats and dogs were like digital, but they looked very believable and really, really good. Any matte paintings that they were doing in this movie were seamless with the real sets they were using. So kudos to the visual effects department on Nosferatu. Now the climax, if you know the story of the film, you sort of know how the climax goes. I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't want to spoil anything if you do want to go see it. But I was sitting there thinking, like, how are they going to end this? Is it going to be like the action ending, or is it going to be like the poetic sort of ending? So I'm not going to tell you which one you get, but I thought the climax was actually very satisfying, and I loved the last shot of the film. The last couple shots were beautiful, and there was, for somebody that hasn't watched like the two Nosferatu movies, a whole bunch. I don't even think I've seen the Herzog one. I've only seen the Murnau from 2022 or from 1922. This one sort of kind of falls, I would say the better than the 22 version. Again, I haven't seen the 79 version, but I love the way that this movie ended, and it was well worth my experience in the theater, even with the people eating their popcorn and whispering to each other. I want to tell people to shut up, but I also don't want to get stabbed or shot. And I live in Arizona where people carry. So I'm not trying to get killed over wanting somebody to shut up in the theater. But yeah, I recommend Nosferatu, whether or not you're a theater person. I'm not one of those people that's like, we have to support movies in the theater. I really don't think it's on us. I think the onus is on Hollywood and the filmmakers to convince us to go to the theater. But I would say this movie is certainly worth watching. Whether or not you're a vampire movie fan, I think if you're a fan of, beautiful filmmaking and just filmmaking in general, if you're a film enthusiast, I recommend Robert Eggers' Nosferatu from 2024. I guess I would give it like a 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. Just a couple things that could have cleaned up to really be a 5-star film or to be considered a masterpiece for me. But who knows? I'm a rewatcher. I like to rewatch movies, and sometimes after I've seen a movie about 3 to 5 times, my feelings start changing on it. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Robert Eggers' Nosferatu from 2024. And thank you guys. Not so bad, about 20 minutes for how long-winded I usually am. I think that's not that bad. So I want to say what's up to everybody here in the chat. I just need a sip of water. All right, there we go. Okay, you guys are so awesome being patient. There's over 100 chats, so please continue to be patient, and I will say what's up to everyone. We got Paula Fitzhenry. How are you doing, Paula? So good to see ya. Lamontre Gillard, what's happening? We got Sam from Our Life in Horror. So good to see you, Sam. Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod and channel member. How you doing, Jamie? Love seeing you jump up in here. We got Enter the Cinevault, our guy Dean Renner. Go check his channel out, and there he is, one of our great channel members. Eli Cortez, Death Squad mod and channel member. How you doing, Eli? Ashton Luck, what's happening, Ashton? Hope you are doing well. Brooke Scarlett, another Death Squad mod and channel member. What's happening, Brooke? We got Gene Whitcomb. So far, so good, Gene. I hope you're having a good day as well. Ryan Olashow is seeing Nosferatu on Saturday. Just wanted to stop by and say, hey, well, I hope you caught a little bit of the review. And for everyone that's watching that hasn't seen the movie, I really hope that I didn't get into anything that was too spoilery or anything like that. I really try my best to not ruin and not to overhype expectations and not to undercut expectations either, for sure. Who else do we have in here? Blu-ray Addict, what's happening, Blu-ray? Great to see ya. We got Brett Patrick, one of our great channel members, says, good afternoon, everyone. Well-made film, but probably a one-time watch for me. I could see myself watching it like, maybe every couple years around Christmas time, something like that. I at least want to give it another like 2 watches. But I totally understand. I totally understand, Brett, for sure. I kind of felt that way about The Substance, where I was like, man, this movie's really good, but it's very taxing, and it's like 2.5 hours long. So holy cow. Wander This World 97, what's happening? Says, great job on Frank's stream last night. Thank you so much, man. I had a great time over there. Man, there was like 85 people in the chat throughout the whole thing. I would imagine Cody and Kylie from Haunted Hippie brought in a lot of those folks, but I saw a lot of Death Squad, fam out there in the chat as well. So really appreciate you guys kicking it with us. I had such a great time. It's always awesome. I felt like a dwarf in a sea of giants being on that panel. So always great to get some exposure to some new people. And seriously, like the sub count has gone up at least like 10 or 12 since that stream. So for all the people who just found out who the heck I was yesterday, welcome to the Davey Death Ray channel. I hope you find a lot here that you really enjoy, and I hope you stick around. What's happening, Coy? How you doing? We got Happy Sanjo in the chat, our very first channel member. And guys, later on this evening at 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be hopping on the very first Late Night with the Davey of 2025. And Coy and I are going to talk about the Scream franchise and the thematic elements that make it so iconic within the horror world, specifically within the slasher subgenre. So make sure you've got that notification set and join us this evening. We're live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern for Late Night with the Davey. So come on by and kick it with us. Let's see, who else do we have here? Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. It looks like I've sort of said hello to everyone except for Big Rod, one of our great channel members. Hope you are doing well. Big Rod, love seeing you jump on in here. We got Andy Radu in the chat. What's happening, Andy? Great to see you hanging out. Holy cow, Coy just purchased, or no, he's celebrating 5 months of channel membership. Yeah, Coy, you were the very first one, man. 5 months of awesomeness. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support, not only with the channel membership, but of course with all the super chat love and everything else you throw our way. T. Parker Evans says, I appreciate the Age of Ultron, especially compared to the crap we get today. Maybe so. Maybe so. I guess the second time I watched it, I was like, what the heck is this crap? But yeah, probably compared to what we're getting today, I would imagine it probably fares relatively well. Thank you so much for being a channel member, T. Parker, and really appreciate you kicking it here with us today. Boom! Coy just gifted a membership. Let me see here. Got to scroll way up to find this one. There we go. Our Life in Horror was gifted a channel membership by Happy Sanjo. That's amazing. Welcome to channel membership. So pumped to have you join us here. Look at that name in green. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, it never really impressed me either. But I thought he was really good in this one for sure. Let's see here. Who else do we have? We got Trisha McMaster. Says atmosphere was cool. This just wasn't my jive. And I totally get it. Like, as I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, like, do I like it? Do I not like it? I was just like, I gotta be fair and think about it just as a movie fan and not try to fit it into, like, you know, why isn't this doing other things that it really isn't meant to do, kind of. Oh yeah, I need that water. It's still relatively early for me. I had a really late night the other night, so I caught up on some sleep here this morning. Yeah. So let's see who else we got. We got Ryan Swayze. What's happening, Ryan? So great to see you, man. Hope you are doing well. T. Parker says the biggest sin of Nosferatu for me was the Mario mustache, which is why I gave it 4 out of 5 out of 5. Yeah, it was a bit odd. I think it was, you know, kind of unnecessary for sure. Koi drops a $1.99 super chat and says the convulsions had me laughing out loud. I can totally see that. Early on in the movie, I thought they were like a bit more well measured, but there are a couple in like that third act that got a bit too silly for me. Lily Rose Depp, she's got work to do. You know, she needs to hire a different acting coach or something like that, or just practice more and get better, because I don't think she's star material at this point. But you know, her dad's very famous, so that certainly helps. Really appreciate the $1.99 there, Koi, and we are 1/5 of the way to our super chat goal. So guys, if you want to see me do a live review similar to this of Lee Winnell's Wolfman coming out on January 17th, go ahead and drop at least a $2 super chat and help us reach that goal, and I'll go ahead and do that for you. But if you don't reach the goal, I ain't doing it. Had that popcorn noise in the theater during A Quiet Place. Yeah, I think I might be. I was seriously thinking, sitting there like, I can't fucking go see movies in the theater anymore. It starts to, like, even so at the very beginning of the movie, during like the very first like dream sequence, one of the managers or whatever from the theater walked right behind me, and it distracted me, and I was like, who the heck is that? And when I turned my head back to the screen, I had like missed the beginning of like one of the scares, and I'm like, dude, this movie's been on for 2 minutes, and an employee of the theater is already like making me stew in angst over here. So guys, I don't know. That's why it sounds like I'm joking about doing the review only if you guys reach the super chat goal, because I don't have much fun going to see movies in the theater. So essentially what I'm asking is, hey guys, buy my ticket and I'll review the movie for you. I know I'm super cheap. I'm just the cheapest mother effer. Let's see here. Who else we got? We got Gina jumping in. My chunky Jordy, one of our great channel members. Hope you are doing well, Gina. Oh, Eli, absolutely. You got it, man. I've got to shout you out. You've been such a huge pillar of the community over here. So it's all well-deserved for sure. And thank you for the kind words on the review, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's doing a live review, like pre-recorded stuff, guys. I enjoy pre-recorded stuff to a certain extent, but it's like double the work. When I sit there and in front of the camera without a live audience, I feel like it actually gets to my nerves even more. And it takes a while to shoot, and then it takes about that amount of time or double that amount of time to edit and add music and do overlays of images and all that kind of production value, which I know YouTube really, really loves. But I feel more comfortable going live. That's just me. And if I want to give you guys the 100% genuine Davey Death Ray experience, you're going to get that on a live stream rather than not. So hopefully you guys enjoy this format for, movie reviews. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments section below if you're watching this after the fact, if you enjoy this kind of thing, or if you'd rather just see me stick strictly to pre-recorded videos. Because guys, ultimately at the end of the day, I want to give you what you want, because I want you to keep on coming back, and I want you to love everything that you've got here at the Davey Death Ray channel. So just feel free to let me know. And while we're on that subject, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the channel with somebody who you think would dig this kind of stuff. And yeah, and let's keep on growing that community. We got Tom Baker jumping on in. How are you doing, Tom? Hope you are having a great day. Hasn't seen the film yet, but the 1920s movie was scary. Yeah, that look of Orlok in the original is creepy, man. Flashing it with Matt. What's happening, brother? How you doing? Says, hope all is good, Davey. Still need to see this one. I do know it's a must-see. Definitely more of a slasher guy. Me too, as you can tell. Don't feel bad about spoilers. I'm okay with it. Hard Eyes looks good. I'm excited for Hard Eyes as well. Yeah, we were talking about that last night at the tail end of the stream. You know, another Valentine's slasher movie. We really only have one that's good, in my opinion, or at least out of the three I've seen, only My Bloody Valentine from 1981 is good. A Valentine is like, has some okay moments, but I don't think it's a good movie. And I don't think the My Bloody Valentine remake is very good. I mean, it's like, it's fine, but I don't ever need to watch that one again. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, Matt. Yeah, I do recommend seeing it, but maybe waiting until it's at home is a-okay, you know. Don Keat, how you doing? Don says, hello, I hope you're well. I'm from Twisted. Yeah, the Twisted Locker boys, Kurt and Jenks. I think I recognize you from the chats over there, Don. Thank you so much for kicking it over here. Man, those guys just feel like brothers from another mother to me. You know, every now and then there's a content creator or content creators that you just really, you know, either vibe with when you're on a collaboration with them, or you just really like jive with what they do. And Kurt and Jenks are certainly that. Guys, if you don't follow Twisted Locker, go check out their channel. Awesome production value, really thoughtful opinions, and it's a duo. So you get, you know, it's not just the same person like over here just spewing their same exact opinions over and over. There's a little bit more variety over there. So thank you so much for kicking it with us, Don. Really appreciate you, and welcome. What's happening, Laura? So good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been a little under the weather, so hopefully today feeling better than yesterday, and you just keep on improving. Thank you so much for jumping in and hanging out with us. One of our great brand new channel members, Laura Hernandez, and a former roommate of mine out in Portland way back when. Davey says Lily Rose Depp, just like Jerry says Newman. Laura jumping in says, did you already give this movie a ranking? Yeah, Laura. So I said like 3.5 or 4 out of 5 for me, I would say. I think that if they, you know, if the runtime were a little bit shorter, because there are some narrative parts of the movie that seem repetitive, I think they could have just like wrapped things up in a little bit of a tighter bow as far as the narrative goes. So not quite a masterpiece for me, but a really beautiful looking film. I also think that the breathing and everything from Orlok, if it wasn't so much of a distraction for me, I probably would have enjoyed that part of the film a little bit more as well. Thank you so much for the $1.99, Laura. Really appreciate you. And speaking of $1.99, Dean Renner just drops $1.99 and doesn't even say a damn thing. I'm guessing, Dean, that just means that you want a live review of Wolfman, right? That's what I interpret that as. And holy cow, guys, we are 4/5 of the way. One more super chat gets it to where you guys get a review similar to this of Lee Winnell's Wolfman. Oh, there we go. Didn't mean to do that. Sam says, I'm the same, Davey. I hate pre-recorded. It's awkward. Yeah, and I get like, guys, I'm really hard on myself. So when I mess up, and when I have my flubs and everything like that, I say really mean things to myself, like out loud. I bang on the table. I'm very tough on myself. It's something that I've struggled with my entire life, and I've tried to work on. I feel like I've improved on it, but it's still a problem for me. So I think that if I had a buddy and we were doing reviews together, pre-recorded and stuff, I think I would feel much more comfortable. But the fact that it's like so much pressure in a quiet room, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully live works for you guys. Andy says, I don't do theaters every time. I mark my seat with my jacket. I always go back to get a snack and soda. And when I get back, the whole row is taken up by kids. And and they took your jacket. That's wild. Really? Every time that happens? Dean says, oh, I've learned quick that pre-recorded in front of a camera is a tough thing to do. And editing. Ugh. Such an annoyance sometimes. It took me close to 5 hours to edit my Stew Theory video. Yep. Yeah, if it takes me about 2 hours to record a video, it's probably taking me 4 to 5 hours to edit it. And then putting the music in there and then overlaying the pictures and sometimes just like deciding between a take, like, ooh, which take was better. Like I sit there and I get stuck in like paralysis by analysis, you know, it's rough. I'm glad that you guys feel similarly, and I'm glad that you guys really appreciate that part of the channel here, because I think YouTube would be a lot nicer to me if I did more pre-recorded stuff. I feel like I've got to do that no matter what here in 2025. But I love going live with you guys. I feel so much more at home. If I make a flub or a mistake or something, I just like to shrug it off and make fun of myself for it. Whereas if I'm doing a pre-recorded video, I'm like, no, you have to fix that, Davey. You have to be a performer. Like Cody Leach would never let that shit slide. I like hold myself to these ridiculously high standards when I do a pre-recorded video. It's silly. I'm happy you found the channel too, Paula. I love having you around. Thank you so much for reaching out through Instagram. It's always good to connect with the community here. It especially sucks when your editor doesn't want to properly cut, trim, and transition your edits too. Yeah, and it's you know, I know some people literally have editors that they pass their videos off to. I do everything here. It's a one-man show here at the Davey Death Ray channel. It's all do it yourself. $4.99 super chat from Happy Sanjo says Nosferatu feels like a well-cooked meal of a type of food I'm not fond of, with some bad acting sprinkled in. That makes sense. I think that's sort of like what you know, what Matt was saying, and even what Trisha was sort of alluding to. Like if slashers are your thing, you know, maybe like old-timey folklore, gothic films, or vampire films aren't really your thing. I totally get you. Like you know, a well-cooked meal that you're just like, man, this is beautiful and technically it's amazing, but can I just get like a burger and some fries? Throat is doing well. It's just relatively early in the day for me still here, Andy, so I didn't even finish my coffee, and yeah, just drinking water. I talk a lot, Andy, so my throat gets plenty of workout. Jamie is stoked for Wolfman, saving her theater gift cards to go see that. So that's the cool thing. The last couple movies I've seen, guys, I won a gift card for Fandango on a raffle that was on Killjoy Jake's channel. Shout out to Killjoy Jake, who's, you know, his content I absolutely love. I love his personality and love his voice. And he's a young buck, so he keeps me informed on some of the stuff, you know, that is sort of outside of my radar. So I appreciate that about the younger content creators for sure. And I won like a $50 Fandango gift card. So I saw Terrifier 3 on that gift card. I saw Nosferatu on that gift card. I'm probably close to exhausting it because there's taxes and then there's fees and everything. So movies just are like wildly expensive. Maybe there's enough on there for Wolfman. I might have to like pay the difference, I think. Yeah. Let's see here. Who else we got? Holy cow, I'm already caught up. I know I missed a lot of chats, guys. I just wanted to say what's up to everyone. If you're still hanging out in the chat and you had a thought about Nosferatu that I happened to miss, please feel free to post it again in the chat. So I just wanted to make sure I said hello to everyone. So I'm not going to accuse you of spamming or anything weird like that if you have a thought there that I had missed that you want to repost. Koi's got AMC A-list. Man, you know, I would get that, Koi, but I live like 40 minutes away from an AMC. So it's like we're talking hour and a half plus, you know, round trip depending on traffic. And that's just a lot of time in the car for me, unfortunately. Whereas the Harkins Theater that I go to is about 20 minutes away. So it's about half the time. And yeah, so I'm just, plus where the AMC is, depending on when I would want to see the movie, it's in a very, very busy part, like off of 2 freeways. So 40 minutes with no traffic, it could be like an hour with traffic each way. So, so maybe if I move closer to an AMC at some point, I don't know if that'll happen, but I totally believe that it's worth it for sure. Regal Unlimited pays for itself after 2 movies. I think so. Maybe it's a Regal that's out. Maybe I'm confusing the AMC with the Regal, because but either way, Harkins is the only theater that's close to me. Yeah. Let's see here. The last time that Andy was in the theater, it was Titanic or Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Holy cow. There's some good stuff out there, man. Let's see here. That's the one I want to look into. I know a lot of people use it. Oh, you guys are talking about editing software? What are you talking about here? Ooh, CapCut or DaVinci. Yeah, I use DaVinci Resolve. So I use DaVinci for my pre-recorded videos, and I also use DaVinci for my thumbnails. That's where I build them and everything. Yeah. And all my intro videos and outro videos are DaVinci as well. Every time I do a video, I've got to like update the members list, update the Patreon if anything's changed there, and then edit together just one of those little videos for the intro and the outro. So fun stuff. Fun stuff. Dean says, I'm debating getting Regal subscription and the AMC A-List subscription too. That gives me several theater options all around me. Hey, if you've got the financial means and it sounds worth it to you, then by all means, go for it. You guys have all the big theater chains, says Jamie. I'm stuck with a local one called Dipson Theaters, and they aren't great. Dipson. How far do you have to drive to go to a big chain, Jamie? Like an hour away or something for a Harkins or a AMC? Need some help with DaVinci. I have it, but it's a bit more than I'm used to. Yeah, you know, Jamie, we can put together a call. So hit me up. We can jump on a call on StreamYard or Google or something, and I can just walk you through, you know, what I do when I use it for sure. Andy brings up the fires out there in the Palisades, the Pacific Palisades. Yeah, guys, it looks really, really bad out there. I hope everyone, if any of you are out there in that area, I hope you're safe. I really hope your home is safe. And shout out to, of course, the first responders, the firemen, the neighbors helping each other. Yeah, it's pretty devastating. That's one of the realities of living in a densely populated area, is when a natural disaster happens or when a fire is accidentally set or whatever, it can get costly in every meaning of the word very, very quickly. So definitely thinking about and praying about all the folks out there, you know, dealing with that. And guys, I'm still thinking about and praying for our guy Raymond Maliber as well. I haven't heard any updates or anything. I don't expect to really hear any updates, but I just wanted to put that out there. Been thinking about Raymond a lot. If you guys don't know, he had suffered, you know, a stroke a couple weeks ago, and it sounds like just over a week ago he had another one, unfortunately. So just been thinking about him. Just while we're on the subject of thinking about people and sending some prayers and positive thoughts, you know, even if you're not religious or spiritual or, you know, a person that prays, even if you just want to meditate and send some positive energy, I believe in that stuff too. Like, I think it's all valid. And I think that, you know, we can send each other those good vibes and that good energy for sure. Absolutely. Let's see here. Andy says prayers for everyone in the areas of the fires. Absolutely, Andy. And yeah, I guess it looks like I'm all caught up here. We're still just one super chat away from reaching that goal, and it ends, guys, it ends in less than 14 minutes. So if you want me to see Wolfman and do a review of it here live on the channel, then make sure you send in at least a $2 super chat. We can satisfy that goal here within the next 3 minutes. And I'll go and check that out when the movie premieres here in Goodyear, and drop in with a live review for you. But I need to make sure that it's something that you guys want to see, and the only way I know that it's something that you guys want to see is if we reach that super chat goal. Thank you so much, Sam. Really appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, it's I just, you know, we get, especially for me, like running the channel and jumping on here and like wanting to be entertaining and fun loving and all that stuff. Of course, I want to keep on giving you guys that, but I also want you guys to know it's something that I've been thinking about, and you know, it's been weighing on me a little bit too. So so yeah, really appreciate your guys' support on behalf of all of that as well. Bean says Canva is good for being quick, but they need to update the video editor a little and it would be great. Yeah, I had a tougher time just like with sometimes with programs, it's just like, is it intuitive to you or not? You know, it's like when people are like PC or Mac, it's like, well, what makes sense to your brain just the way you're already wired more? And with Canva, I was like, I don't really get this. I think I made like a couple like logos or designs or something in Canva. And then once my brother, who does 3D matte painting, he works, you know, in show business, and he had told me about DaVinci. He's like, it's this great free program. You can do your thumbnails and edit your videos. There's all sorts of like transition effects and fonts and all that stuff. I'm not the biggest computer savvy person, but I've been able to have a lot of fun with DaVinci Resolve. And it's free. It is free. I think you can pay for it and unlock a bunch of other stuff. But for what I use it for, absolutely free. I'm sure they'll find out what caused the fire. I mean, it could be a whole host of things. Boom! Jamie drops the $2 super chat, says, give us the Wolfman goods. Oh, there you go, little Wolfman for you right now. We have officially reached our super chat goal. Thank you so much, Jamie. You didn't have to do that. You're a mod, but I really appreciate it. And I know that you're excited about the movie, you know, and want to see it. So, so super pumped that you guys fulfilled that, the super chat goal there. I will watch Wolfman when it comes out here on the 17th. I'll probably go see it opening night. And guys, did you catch my out of the theater reaction for Nosferatu, the short that I put out? Do you guys like that? I thought that was kind of fun. That was a suggestion from Big Rod. Big Rod commented on my post where I shared my ticket, and he was like, hey man, out of theater reaction would be kind of cool. And I was like, well, I'll do both. I'll do like an out of theater, just like foundational thoughts, like really not giving too much away about how I felt about it. But I think that, you know, I need to get better about doing shorts because it can bring in people that haven't found the channel yet. So let me know if you caught the short out of the theater, and let me know if you guys want to see something like that right after I watch Wolfman, and then I can do the full live review the following day after I sleep on it. I like to sleep on movies. I like to watch the movie, think about it, maybe have a dream about it, wake up, think about it a little bit more, and then start talking about it. So I'd probably do it similar to how I did with Nosferatu here. Thank you so much for the $2, Jamie. Thank you so much. And boom, Laura drops a $4.99, says much love. Hell yeah, Laura, you are amazing. You guys have just been making me feel, seriously, all the love with the super chats. It felt like there were months that went by where I'd get a 1 or 2 super chats here or there, and I feel like, I don't know if it's that I'm more with it since I'm detoxing, that stuff is just firing off more, but you guys have certainly like ramped up your support for the channel. I think setting the goals and giving those rewards to you guys after super chats is also something that sort of encourages that as well. So thank you so much for playing nice with me and letting me know with your hard-earned cash like what you want to see here on the channel, or if you want to see something or if you don't want to see something. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the $4.99, Laura. T. Parker says, since you really enjoyed Thanksgiving, you plan on seeing Hard Eyes in theaters? I do. I'm excited for Hard Eyes. I didn't watch the second trailer. I watched the first trailer. They hooked me, and you guys know how I am. If you hook me with that first trailer, I'm going to stop watching trailers because I didn't want anything else spoiled. In that first trailer, they do spoil like a double kill, which I guess to me just says, man, this movie's going to have a whole shitload of kills. Or that's like the very beginning of the movie, and those people are relatively insignificant as far as the plot goes. But yeah, I know, I can't remember the actor's name right now, but he played Chad in Scream 5 and 6. I know he's in there. Devon Sawa is going to be in Heart Eyes as well. You know, like I said earlier on in the stream, I think it was earlier on in the stream, somebody had mentioned anticipated movies for 2025. And I know I mentioned it yesterday on Frank's stream. You know, we just haven't had enough good Valentine's Day horror movies. So I'm really, really excited about that one. Not as excited as I am for Thanksgiving 2, though. Thanksgiving 2 is my most anticipated of 2025. Easy. Easy. I don't remember Wolfman Jack. What's Wolfman Jack? Laura really liked the short. Hell yeah. I'll give you guys some more shorts. Coy liked it as well. Awesome. Yeah, I'll give you guys more of that. I can even let you guys, like, if I watch a movie here at home, I can shoot just a quick little short. And then if you guys want to see a full review, you just got to let me know in the comments, and we could put a little something together. Andy, Hard Eyes is a Valentine's Day themed slasher that's coming out this February. Yeah. I love seeing you guys talking about your editing software, getting like a good. I'm not being facetious or sarcastic. Like, I really do love seeing an awesome side conversation going on. To me, it really just displays like the amazing sense of community that we have here, that you guys are kind of workshop talking what you use for your channels. I love seeing that. I love that there are content creators that come to the Davey Death Ray channel, because I love going and hopping on chats and hanging out and I love being a part of that audience community as well. I mean, that's what made me fall in love with YouTube, and that's what ultimately pushed me to start my own channel, is hanging out in Dave McCrae's channel, trying to be the funniest guy in the chat, even though no one can be funnier than Dave. Sam says, I'm avoiding the Hard Eyes trailer. The teaser sold me already, and I'm so excited. Love Valentine's Day. Boom. Sam, son los mismos. We are the same on that. Absolutely. We don't have the same feelings about a lot of movies or any of that, Sam. We've got some differing opinions, but I love to focus on the commonalities, and man, we are so on the same page right there. What's happening, Shay? How are you doing, man? Our guy Shay Rants from over there in the UK jumping on in, says, what's up, Davey? I'm stoked for Hard Eyes. I'm going to see it Friday. Is it any good? Is it out already? No, it's not out, is it? Is it out over there in the UK? I'm looking it up right now. I thought it was coming out February 7th. At least that's what I'm seeing here in North America. So I don't know. Is it coming out earlier? Wow. If it's coming out earlier, you guys are so lucky. Oh, you meant Nosferatu. Okay. I am stoked for Hard Eyes, though. Yeah, Shay, I would say Nosferatu. You could always, if you want to scrub back for my review, it's about 20 minutes long at the very beginning of the video, and no spoilers or anything like that. For me, it's like a 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. There are just a couple things that didn't resonate with me, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It's not quite masterpiece for me, but definitely worth seeing. Yeah, and seeing in the theater if you enjoy a good theater experience, for sure. Heard you talking about Hard Eyes and accidentally typed. Ooh, the power of suggestion, Shay. Guys, Shay's got a channel as well. Shay, I believe you're 16, maybe 17. Going to school for a career in film, and a young content creator. So guys, go and check out his channel, and if you enjoy what you see over there, think about throwing him a sub. Jamie says, I'm sure you all know that I'm super stoked for Hard Eyes. If it has to do with hearts, I'ma be there. Yeah, it's got a cool look for the killer. I like the look, and I just like, I don't know. I'm ready for some more holiday themed horror. Like, I love that about like the 80s, and hopefully it's got a little bit of that spirit. I felt like Thanksgiving had the spirit of the 80s, and to me, it's almost like part and parcel with the slasher subgenre is some of that nostalgic 80s feel, just because that's really when the subgenre like took off, and became, I mean, how many times could people go to like a drive-in or go to a theater in the early to mid to late 80s and just watch like 2 or 3 slashers if they wanted to? And maybe there's slashers that are hardly talked about. I'm not just talking about Freddy and Jason and all that kind of stuff. There were just so many in the 80s. It just seemed peppered throughout. Like if you were 16, 17, 15 in the 80s, like you were going to see a slasher movie every weekend, it feels like. Boom, writing a documentary for class today. Hell yeah. And then there, Jamie drops the link for your channel there, Shay, so you guys can click on over and check him out if you want to. Sam wants Art the Clown to take on Valentine's Day. I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool, Sam. I think they're going to keep on leaning into the religious side of it. There's so much like religious metaphor and, kind of like just parallels in Terrifier. I wouldn't be surprised if they do Easter, like, because there's already been like a resurrection of Art the Clown And I just feel like maybe Damian Leone's gonna lean into that religious side of things. Easter Art the Clown. What do you guys think? Wearing egg sunglasses. Sorry about hitting the mic. Pastel colored egg glasses. It does. It's at least for me, Dean, even if the movie ends up being like, to me, it looks at least exciting enough to go and watch in the theater. Hopefully with a packed crowd. Because I think with horror, especially slashers, it can be really rowdy and really fun. When I saw Halloween 2018 for the second time in the theater, it was a packed house, and it was amazing. People were just so rowdy, so much fun. It isn't religious, but I think it would be fun either way. Yeah, I think that the Easter thing would just sort of fit within the themes, especially now that, it's Gabby. Who knows what's going on with her? It seems like she was sucked into the pit of hell. I think that what's happening with Terrifier is we are on a collision course for a literal, like, epic battle between good and evil. I'm talking like horde of good, horde of bad. Or maybe just Sienna and Gabby with, like, supernatural weapons, like fighting hordes of demons. Like, that's where I think we're going with that. And so I think the resurrection aspect, like bringing Gabby back, from the depths of hell could fit very well into Easter for sure. Oh, you like the Easter idea, Eli? Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, bud. Nicholas Priori back in the chat. How you doing, Nicholas? Says if Art would do a V day, it should be the 5th one, so it's Terrifier V. Ooh, yeah, I like that. There you go. There you go, Nicholas. That way Sam and I both get what we want. But really, I'll be happy. Terrifier is really not like, it's not my thing, but I understand what it is, and I can appreciate it for what it is. I do want more than just breadcrumbs with the story. I want the lore to sort of ramp up. With Terrifier 4, I want it to have double the lore that Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 had. I felt like they were kind of equal on the lore side. I want to see more of that, especially if your movie's going to be over 2 hours long, dude. Like, give me more story. The gore thing I get. They nail the gore thing. It's just like, give me some more story. And I do appreciate Terrifier. However, I don't need any imitators. I don't need anyone else to try to be Terrifier. For me, Terrifier is enough of like the utmost extreme. And I appreciate when everyone else is somewhere in the middle on that. Well, shoot, guys, it's been about an hour. This has been amazing. There's still 18 people hanging out. Probably going to pop out here and grab a little lunch and let there be, a nice little lull here before I jump back on at 8 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. Eastern for Late Night with the Davey with our guy Coy, Mr. Happy Sanjo. Guys, if you're fans of the Scream franchise, if you love Scream, and even if you just like doing deep dives into movies and like the greater meaning, seeing other people's perspective, maybe seeing what other people see in a movie that maybe just you happen to miss, or maybe you've seen something within the Scream franchise that you've never heard anyone mention, you're going to want to come by for Late Night with the Davey tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hop in the chat. Let us know what stands out to you as iconic thematic elements of the Scream franchise, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And our guy Coy takes this shit seriously. He's been doing homework. He's been reaching out to me and saying, you better watch those movies so you've got something to say. And I'm basically going to sort of let Coy be the master of ceremonies. Of course, I'm the host of the show, but I want him to sort of drive the discussion since it was his idea. And we're going to have a really fun chat. So that's going to be later on this evening. Make sure you've got the notification bell clicked on the channel, so whenever I go live, you get a notification on it. Please make sure to like the stream if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share the channel with somebody that you think would enjoy this kind of content. If you're watching after the fact, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on Nosferatu. And even if you're watching the stream right now, just drop on in. Leave a comment. It really helps push the stream further out there with the YouTube algorithm. They love comments. More than anything, they want to see comments. So that's my desperate pitch to you guys. Also, just relaunched the shop. The merch shop was relaunched last week. Whole bunch of new designs and new gear up there. Use the promo code EARLYBIRD, all one word, all capitals, for a 10% discount at checkout. Links to the merch shop and my socials are in the description below, so you can find all that there. Thank you so much to everyone that jumped in on the stream. Really appreciate all the subscribers, especially the new folks that were brought over from the stream I did last night on Frank's Media and Reviews. Really appreciate all the Patreon members and, of course, all the channel members and my amazing group of Death Squad mods. I think today we had Eli Cortez, Jamie Hart, and Brooke Scarlett jumping in, modding and making sure everything stands strong here. And I just want to give a shout out to, Happy Sanjo for gifting a membership. Also dropped a $1.99. Laura Hernandez dropped a $1.99. Dean Renner with the $1.99. Happy Sanjo with a $4.99. Jamie Hart with a $2, and Laura Hernandez with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. We reached our goal, 5 out of 5. So I will be doing a review of Wolfman here just in a couple weeks. And let me close out our poll really quick. What did you think of Robert Eggers' Nosferatu? 56% of 39 people say they haven't seen it. 26% loved it. 13% said it was okay, and 5% did not enjoy it. Thank you so much for participating in the poll. You guys are awesome. I will be back later on tonight with a late night with the Davy. So you know what? Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davy Deathray. Take care.